This is now happening at breakneck speeds. And there will be a moment where the largest asset managers in the world, where you're going to remember them telling you to run as fast as you can from cryptocurrency, that are going to be asking you to allocate 2 to 5% in your portfolio. And that's here now. BlackRock, Larry Fink, who told you to choose for money laundering, flipped the script in 2023 and told you it's a flight to quality, is now the number 2 holder in Bitcoin in the world and is the largest asset manager in the world. Jamie Dimon, he told you blockchain's here to stay, but cryptocurrency, or excuse me, Bitcoin is a pet rock, has nothing. But I believe in the future, we're going to see him flip. And quietly, behind the scenes, as people panic, they give up on crypto, they lose their patience, they lose their discipline, their persistence, and they're emotionally charged. These asset managers right now, because something just happened over the last couple weeks that changed the whole game, which I'm going to break down today, that showed them that Bitcoin is operating like gold, that Bitcoin has transmuted from fraud used for money laundering to a store of value that is deflationary, that can fix the American monetary system, and is one of the most scarce assets. Think about this. This is going to be written in history books, and the public can actually buy a piece of the new monetary system. I believe Bitcoin and XRP will be number 1 and number 2. And I put my family's money where my mouth is, and we've become financially free since 2020. Now we're going to build a legacy by trusting our gut and now trusting the facts, figures, numbers, logic. So in this video, I'm going to show you a clip from a Coinbase executive who deals with a lot of large asset managers, explaining to you what happened over the past couple weeks. Bitcoin did something that it's never done before. And that signal behind the scenes, boom, wait a minute, we have to get in. So whether you believe it or not, your banks that told you cryptocurrency a fraud, the biggest asset managers in the world, are feverishly trying to accumulate Bitcoin. I assume they're accumulating XRP. I assume they're accumulating things like Solana, Ethereum, ADA. Trump mentioned those for a reason. You know that, right? Michael Saylor was at the White House for a reason. You understand that, right? Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Aldrey hanging out with Trump at the White House. Guys, this is all planned out. Trump told us we're going to be on an even playing field monetarily 7 years ago before we know it. He also talked 9 years ago about coming back on a gold standard. And remember what Jerome Powell said to you? He said he's worried about the middle class coming back to a new economy leveraged towards technology. It's here. It's going to accelerate really fast. So let's pay attention to what he says. Listen to what he says, what happened to Bitcoin just recently, and how the asset managers are responding.
The asset management side of the house. So we can definitely get into that. We were supposed to record in San Francisco when I was there a few weeks ago, but I think this is way better timing, just given everything that's happening in the market. Like, we didn't have the decoupling
Listen to this
earlier this month.
Yeah, we like to say in markets, the time isn't linear. And what has happened in the last couple weeks, it's like a year or even 5 years in terms of how investors may come to think of Bitcoin and digital assets, right?
Well, what's the old expression, right? There are...
Okay, I want to help people understand what he's saying here. Over the last couple of weeks, what happened with Bitcoin and the markets decoupling from the markets gave a huge signal to the asset managers. Holy shit. Now they see why BlackRock went all in on Bitcoin. Now they see why Michael Saylor's all in on Bitcoin. Now they see why Howard Lutnick and his son Brandon Lutnick, who runs Cantor, teamed up with SoftBank and is now competing against MicroStrategies or Strategy B. This is a space race to become the number 1 holder in Bitcoin, and there's only 5% of the supply left. That's it. So think about that. Only 5% of the population has access to crypto or exposure to crypto. And there's only 5% of Bitcoin left. Guys, the 1% just flipped the game. They got us to look this way, and they're accumulating a new system this way.
Years where days happen and days where years happen.
I think there's a Star Trek movie where they said, when Spock said, when minutes are like seconds and seconds are like hours, or something like that, speaking in code. I'm not so sure, but I can tell you with certainty that we'll probably look back on the last couple of weeks and recognize that maybe something big just changed, right? Something really big may have just changed.
Pay
A
attention.
lot of folks have been waiting for Bitcoin to act a bit like digital gold, and we may have just seen that. If you look back on April 4th, when the S&P was down 5% and Bitcoin was up 1, and even more recently, where you've really ended up with a big performance divergence, right? We were just looking at numbers recently. NASDAQ is down 9 or 10%. You probably would have expected Bitcoin to be down 20,
Yeah.
and it's down 4 on the same time frame. That's massive outperformance versus expectations on a vol adjusted basis, adjusting for how volatile Bitcoin has been. These sort of things are anecdotal today, but when they happen, they get the attention of big macro funds. When they happen, they get the attention of big asset owners, sovereign wealth funds, central banks, because Bitcoin is not a small asset like it was at some point. Now it's a $1.8 trillion asset.
Massive.
That doesn't close. And for it to act like it has done more recently, it's a big deal. Yeah. So I'm glad we're doing this today.
Huge deal, guys. This is the stuff you needed. This is why we stay stoic in the Warrior Academy. This is why our warriors are calm. We don't get caught in the emotion. We don't get caught in the bullshit, the hype stuff. We really pay attention to what is historically happening, spiritually, mentally, physically. These are just patterns. All that's happening, take out all the conspiracy, is we're transmuting, and we have to transmute from an old, archaic, clunky ass system to a new digital system. Okay. We're going from physical gold to digital gold. We're going from clunky, antiquated systems, a DOS banking system, to a fast payment system. Our kids will not even know what cash is. Our kids probably won't even talk about gold and silver in the future. They probably won't. They're not operating like that. It's a whole new world. The baby boomers are dying off, the richest population in the world, and all that wealth is going to start coming into digital assets. Well, here's the facts, figures, numbers, logic. Just in 1.5 trillion Morgan Stanley to offer Bitcoin and crypto trading to clients. Breaking, Charles Schwab, CEO, says they're working on a spot Bitcoin and crypto trading within the next 12 months. I've been telling everybody 2025 is going to be a massive year since 2020. 2025 is the change. It is the flip. And then we have 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, then the transition into the brand new system as we move into 2030 and beyond. There's going to be very, very wealthy, and there's going to be the working poor. You're going to be the owner of it or the consumer of it. You're going to be in a completely different world by 2030. You're going to see more advancements than you've ever seen in your life in the next 6 years. Breaking, NVIDIA, the third largest company in the world, to add an undisclosed amount of Bitcoin to their balance sheet for stability. Okay. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. For stability. Think about that. Okay, we got the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world that is bigger than most countries' GDP. Okay, they are the second largest holder in Bitcoin. Larry Fink said it's a flight to quality. Trump came back, ran as the Bitcoin capital of the world, the crypto capital of the world, promises made, promises kept, made a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and the sovereign wealth fund is run by Howard Lutnick, who is his son runs Cantor, that connected to SoftBank. It is a massive, massive Bitcoin holder and creating a whole Bitcoin strategy to compete with MicroStrategies. MicroStrategy, Strategy B, is the number 3 holder in Bitcoin. Now, NVIDIA, the third largest company in the world, is building an undisclosed Bitcoin strategy for stability. So all we did at a personal level and a professional level with our companies is we did the same thing. So what I did is I created a Bitcoin. I think of my family. I run my family like a corporation. So I have my, my dynasty trust, and then I run it like a corporation, and we run our company the same that we run personal. Okay. So from a company and a personal level, we use Bitcoin as a treasury to create stability and balance. We have an XRP treasury. Okay. And what this allowed us to do is when we went through the 19% inflation, we were able to survive, right? We had this, it's just the safety was there. And so we didn't let any team members go over the last couple of years. We basically got more efficient. We actually raised people's income, right? We became more efficient. You don't save your way to profits. You get more efficient. You scale your way to profits. But that safety of having that strategic reserve, seeing our wealth continue to go up as most companies were losing their wealth because they're storing in the inflationary US dollar. So for example, every single day I buy Bitcoin and XRP, just a little bit every single day. So every day I wake up, my family is becoming wealthier. Every day I wake up. If you look at the long-term macro, it's straight up, right? Short term like this, I'm not worried about the short term. I'm focused 10 years and beyond. So every day I wake up, money's going into Bitcoin and XRP. Okay. Every Wednesday and Friday when I get paid by my companies, I transmute that. I look at the markets. Are the markets down? I'll buy a little bit more Bitcoin and XRP. I buy a dividend ETF strategy that pays me cash flow. Every single month that cash flow comes in, I de-risk. I don't buy stuff. I pay my taxes or put money away for taxes, work on a tax strategy, and then I put 70% into Bitcoin, 30% into XRP. De-risk. Why wouldn't I do what the largest companies in the world are doing? The reason why we don't do that is because the media fuds the shit out of us and they get us indoctrinated to repeat stuff like a parrot. Bitcoin's a fraud. It's used for money laundering. Why do you think only 5% of the population has exposure to crypto? And 95% of the Bitcoin supply is gone. Isn't that interesting? So again, just like the S&P, when everybody's like, oh, Trump is hurting the middle class. No, he didn't. When he did the tariffs, he hurt the wealthy. The top 10% own 80% of the S&P. So who do you think owns all this Bitcoin? This is the beauty in this. We actually can have a piece of it. But they're going to fudge you out. 2017, when the 50-year jubilee ended, the debt reset. What did they tell you? Bitcoin's, I came out of banking. I was literally leaving banking at that time. You were a criminal if you talked about Bitcoin. Used for money laundering. And then the head of the CIA just told us, what are you talking about? We're actually, crypto's here to stay. We're all in on Bitcoin. He was like, why, why would they use Bitcoin? It's not anonymous. It's pseudonymous. It's not anonymous. Why would a cartel member use, or a drug runner use Bitcoin? That is, of course, they might use Bitcoin. They're going to use cash. They're going to trade cars. They're going to do money laundering. Like, why would you use something that you can actually track on the blockchain? So the CIA has told us it's here to stay. BlackRock has told us it's here to stay. Trump has told us it's here to stay. But your grandma, your grandpa, your barber, the dude at the gym, the skeptical person keeps telling you it's not. That's by design, guys. They got you drunk in the Coliseum. So I hope this information reaches your heart well. I'm not telling you to go invest in XRP. I'm not telling you to go invest in Bitcoin. What I'm telling you to do is research. And that's what we've done. I'm not qualified to tell you what to do, but I am qualified to tell you exactly what I'm doing. That's all I'll ever do. That's all I'll ever do. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. And what it's done is it's created financial freedom for my family. We've become millionaires in crypto, and we become millionaires outside of crypto because we learned things like the cash flow quadrant, richest man in Babylon. We followed these things. Success leaves clues, and we just got disciplined and consistent. We didn't get involved in the meme coin bullshit and the get rich quick. We stay totally fundamental. That's all bullshit, man. Anything that is like quick earnings, it's hypey. Oh, look at the charts. That you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Wealth is not built that way. Wealth is not sexy. It is slow. It is methodic. Our first business, we've been doing this. The 3T Warrior Academy started in 2017. I didn't get paid for the first 4 years. My CFO didn't get paid for the first 4 years. We grinded it out. It was not sexy. It was ugly. It was nasty. We lost our money. Then they shut us down in COVID. In the first 4 years, it took us going into the 5th year to build our first seven-figure ecosystem. And then it took us 18 months to build our second seven-figure ecosystem. And it's going to take us less than 2 years to build our third. My point behind that is wealth is not sexy. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Think about that. Wisdom, there's just a part of it. There's a part of wisdom. So study it, build a disciplined plan, create a budget, get down to debts and non-negotiables, create some cash flow, transmute that cash flow into deflationary assets. It could be gold, it could be silver, it could be Bitcoin, it could be XRP, it could be Solana, whatever you think, but you need to understand why you're investing, not what to invest in. And my recommendation is stay away from this hypey stuff. Just stay away. We've coached 11,000 coming up on 300 people worldwide since 2020. And I haven't met one person that's gotten wealthy in meme coins and maintained it. I just haven't. Or take out meme coins, hype trends, right? It's just not how wealth is built, right? It's just not how wealth is built. It's just, I'm just telling you from wisdom. I'm 49 years old. I've been there, done that, lost my money 3 times. And it was always because I was chasing hypes, trying to get rich quick, buying stuff I couldn't afford to impress people I don't even like. Live a simple life. God, family, protect your ecosystem at all costs, and stay out of other men and women's business because you're too busy working on yours. All right. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I want to keep the community safe. I'm going to show you guys this. I think this is working really well because we're getting a lot of messages. This is our only ecosystem. Okay, guys. I don't invest people's crypto. I don't have a trading platform. QFS accounts are scam. People are using influencers' likeness and image. They're getting people to transfer their XRP. Don't ever send your crypto to anybody. Okay. Double, triple, quadruple check. If you get an email from Coinbase, double and just don't send your crypto to anybody. Okay. Be very, very careful. Okay. I have businesses and ecosystems. My businesses are the 3T Warrior Academy. It's an education academy. We've helped 11,000, coming up on 300 people worldwide. Subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision creation, understanding how to budget, how to create cash flow, market calls, live calls, community calls, Q&A calls, blockchain education. It's an education platform. It's not an investment platform. Okay. We also have I own an insurance brokerage, right? We help people around cash value life insurance, bank on yourself, annuities. We actually have 2 family banks. We have our Bitcoin family bank. That's what we call it. I just used the example that I broke down for you guys. I think I've shared this on my YouTube channel. It's where I borrowed against my Bitcoin tax-free, got a tax-free loan. I bought my insurance firm, and the insurance firm is paying it back, right? I use Bitcoin as a bank and I use insurance as a bank, but insurance has a protection component, the market-like return components, and I can leverage tax-free, and it works on my family legacy. I insure my wealth, about 30% of my wealth. I think that's important, right? So you always have to have a protection strategy with your money. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, follow rule number 1, Warren Buffett. Okay, so this is linked in my bio. Click the link. You can see all this stuff here. These aren't my only businesses. And then down description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much. We love you, and I'd love to see you part of our community. As we always say, Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.